Hello everyone, this is just very quick for me update on my channel. I'm going to try and keep this down to 15 minutes if I can, and it's been a while, and I've been wanting for some time now to update you with what's going on my channel and air some of my thoughts. And basically, I'm getting really frustrated with YouTube now. In particular, the amount of time it takes me to upload videos to YouTube, and the restrictions that puts on my access to the internet while it's going on. I can't afford to upgrade my internet connection at the moment. It shouldn't be as bad as it is, and I just don't know what's going on. But it's really limiting what I can do, what I can post, because I do tend to kind of waste time and so on when I'm doing videos, and it all adds to the burden of that uploading. But the other thing that's been ongoing is that about a year ago I started doing a little bit of research into a character who is buried in Ford Park Cemetery, and he's got a really interesting story, which I'm sure a lot of my viewers would be interested in hearing, and the story overlaps so many of my interests on my channel. Wargamers would be interested in it, but so would a lot of other subscribers who subscribe to me not for my wargaming. And it's taken me a year and a bit so far to research the story, and one of the things that I discovered was that there had been an eyewitness account of some of the events that took place in this person's life, and he wrote an account back in the 1930s. Only problem for me being that he was Polish, and his book was published in Warsaw in 1936, and of course all of that was obliterated during the Second World War. So my only hope of finding the book was in a Polish archive somewhere, and I had no joy. I contacted a lot of very helpful people in Poland, but had no joy in tracking this book down. And then only a couple of weeks ago, I've been keeping an eye out for it on eBay and things like that, just for the very slim possibility that it would come up for sale. And I found it about 2 weeks ago, and it arrived yesterday. Of course, it's written in Polish, so I'm going to have to find some way of getting that translated. I've got plans for that. But the other thing the other bit of archival material on this story was that it was really fortuitous that some of the people this person was associated with, and maybe even the person himself, though I can't tell that, were filmed over 100 years ago. So there's a tiny bit of moving footage of some people that this person was associated with. I'm trying to conceal what the subject is, because I want to keep it to myself for the time being until I've actually produced a video on it. But anyway, there's some archival cinematic material on this subject, and again I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could get hold of this and include it in my video? And it is available through an online company, but in order to gain access to it at all, I had to apply for membership, and that took over a year for me to be approved, for my membership to be accepted or moderated, as it were. And having now gained access to this material and seen what's on it, in order to be able to download it and display it on my YouTube channel, I need to pay a fee, and the fee is colossal. For a 5-year limited license, which means after 5 years I would have to take the video down from YouTube, it would cost me £900 per minute of footage. Now, I'm prepared to pay that price, but in order for it to be worthwhile, there are two things. I don't have to make a profit from it. I'm certainly not going to monetize my channel. I am dead set against this sort of squalid kind of scrabbling for money that people seem to be. It seems to be one of the main priorities of a lot of people's channels, and I don't want to see advertising. I don't want advertising on my channel for others to see, and even if I did do that, I would never recoup the expense of things like paying for this film and getting the book translated and all that kind of thing. That's not what I'm bothered about. What I'm bothered about is that I'm very kind of dissatisfied with the quality of a lot of my videos, and for it to be worth doing, it's got to be worth doing well. And I'm doubtful of my abilities to make a kind of professional documentary type video on this subject. And even if I succeeded in doing that, it's not going to be viewed by a sizable audience. It's just going to be, no offence, but it's just going to be viewed by you guys and ladies out there, and it's not likely to get more than about 100 views, something like that. So what I'm thinking about doing is continuing to pursue this subject, because it interests me anyway, and maybe trying to get a more professional outfit interested in producing a short film on it once I've got all the material together and the script and so on. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And in the meantime as well, I've got to kind of fork out to try and upgrade my internet connection and so on. So there's all that going on, and the other thing that's been sort of happening is that you may have noticed, but I've culled a lot of videos from my channel for the same reason, that they're overlong. I'm very unhappy with the quality of them, the sort of meandering, disorganised way in which I talk about things and so on. So I've taken a lot of those down. But again, another frustration is that some of them, my YouTube channel is a kind of hobby in its own right. A lot of people, and the vast proportion of the people who watch my channel are wargamers, and if they have a YouTube channel of their own, their channel is about wargaming, which is their hobby. But I'm kind of the reverse of that. My YouTube channel is my hobby, and wargaming is just one aspect of my channel. But it does mean that I'm kind of almost sort of driven to produce more content for wargamers than for anyone else. And sometimes some of my subjects, such as this story that I'm researching at the moment, will overlap and wargamers will be interested in it. But there are times when wargamers aren't interested in me going on about something like the Vinland map or the Kensington runestone. So it kind of forces you down the route of specialising even if you don't want to. And there's a lot of channels out there who do try and kind of expand their channel into other things. Some do it in kind of areas that interest them that wargamers don't seem to mind. So, for instance, people might have an interest in the cinema, so they will talk about that, and they don't get any complaints about that. But other people have political inclinations. I do, and I know other channels that do, and that immediately gets leapt on and criticised. To me, all the subjects that I'm interested in on my YouTube channel are all completely interconnected. I can't extract one from the other, so I don't really know how, even if I wanted to, that I wouldn't be able to talk about political issues and so on my channel. So I'm getting frustrated by that in a way, that I want to produce material that my subscribers want to see, obviously, but I don't want my subscribers to dictate to me what kind of material I put up there. So the whole thing is sort of a bit of a quandary. Right, I've only got about 3 minutes left, so I'll sort of wind it up at this point. But to give you an idea of what's been going on in about the last 4 weeks, I have barely left the house. The weather has been really uncomfortable for me. It's been far too hot and it's been really draining. I've spent most of the time watching the whole of the World Cup. I wanted to put up, and I'm not going to do it, a little video on sort of the history of the World Cup, because I've got a lot of old VHS tapes and so on that I thought people might be interested in seeing. But I'm getting really worried as well about copyright infringements and strikes and so on. And I've noticed that there's been quite a lot of channels recently that seem to have disappeared for a variety of reasons. But one in particular I went to the other day, and it said that something along the lines of the channel had been deactivated due to multiple copyright infringements. And I can't remember seeing anything on that channel that I thought was particularly insidious. So it might have been kind of accidental infringements that happened over a long period of time, but then were all complained about simultaneously. And there's been a couple of other people. One person who seems to have removed all the videos from his channel for reasons I don't understand, which might be to do with privacy, something like that, because he is quite young. Another person seems to have, I think he's taken his channel down just in a sort of fit of frustration, something like that, I don't know. Lots of things like that going on. So I'm beginning to get a bit concerned as well, because a lot of my videos do contain images that, if they were seen by the original owner, they might take exception to it. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Maybe I would be given the opportunity to either monetize that particular video and for the proceeds to go to the copyright owner. Don't know how it works. Anyway, that's 15 minutes. I'm going to stop. There's a lot more I want to say to you, but I'm going to discipline myself. Just to say, on the subject of the World Cup, though, I'm going to leave you with a sort of vaguely political observation. There was a game in the tournament where the goal was completely open. The attacking player had got past the goalkeeper and past all the defence, and he had an open goal, and all he had to do was kick the ball into the net. And one of the defending players took him down from behind, a deliberate foul. So it was an automatic penalty, but at least he stopped the goal happening automatically. And when the penalty was taken, the shot was saved. So the penalty, the foul, was a deliberate foul, but it succeeded in its purpose of preventing the attacking side from scoring a goal. And the BBC commentator remarked on this, saying that it was a professional foul. It was the defending player had made the right decision. I found that quite remarkable, and during the tournament there were lots of remarks, especially on the BBC, about professional fouls and about players taking one for the team, which is the way they referred to it, getting yellow cards because they saved their goal at moments of dangerous threat when a fast player was about to get past the defence and so on. Didn't seem to be an issue with the BBC, but then yesterday the Electoral Commission found the Vote Leave campaign guilty of overspending during the referendum campaign and have cried foul. They've fined them, and the BBC are up in arms about it, and a lot of the news items are suggesting that we should rerun the referendum. They seem to have double standards, to my mind. There was no talk about rerunning the football matches. I don't see why we should rerun the referendum. Anyway, that's it. That's well over 15 minutes now, so I'm going to stop there. Thanks for listening, and see you soon. Bye for now.